I predicted 2025 K-pop. Hey guys, welcome back to Wade's Winter Wonderland. As the season starts to wrap up, I have a shorter video for you guys today, so I can work on all the end of year content I have lined up. At the beginning of the year, I put out a video titled About 2025 K-pop. It wasn't meant to be a prediction video in the traditional sense. I wasn't trying to guess charts, numbers, or virality. It was more of a wish list. Hopes, expectations, and gut feelings shaped by years of being a fan. In that video, I talked about roughly 80 acts, and looking back now, that's a lot, but realistically, I only ended up closely following and or predicting around 30 of them strongly enough to reflect on properly. Some of these hopes came true almost exactly the way I imagined, some missed the mark completely, and others unfolded in ways I genuinely couldn't have anticipated at the time. So this video isn't about flexing how right I was, it's about looking back with perspective how unpredictable K-pop actually is, how quickly things can shift, and how being a fan sometimes means learning to sit with disappointment just as much as joy. This video won't follow my usual format of distinct sections. This is more of a continuous monologue of my thoughts with random video footage throughout. So feel free to put me on in the background while I yap about K-pop, starting with aespa. I remember saying that my feelings towards their recent work were mixed. I liked some songs, really disliked certain B-sides, and I was hoping that 2025 would give us a solid, cohesive mini-album. And technically, yes, we did get a mini, but for me, it wasn't their strongest body of work. There were songs I enjoyed, moments I appreciated, but overall, it didn't fully land. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't enough. With BABYMONSTER, they were fresh off their first studio album, and I hoped this year would bring a mini with catchier, more refreshing tracks. I even threw out the idea of a summer comeback. And I was sort of right. We did get a catchy summer release, Hot Sauce, and I really enjoyed it. What I couldn't have predicted was Rami's hiatus. Her absence, combined with songs that felt a bit underwhelming, made this new mini fall short for me. It just didn't hit the way I hoped it would, but I have a video on that on the channel if you want to see it. For Blackpink, I said they were gearing up for a group comeback in the first half of the year, with probably just 1 or 2 songs, and I was unfortunately right on the money. We got a single, some very half-hearted performances, and honestly, yikes. I'm still unsure what to expect from their upcoming album, if I'm being completely honest. When it comes to Lisa, I didn't have high expectations after being let down by her previous release, and that trend continued. I wasn't big on the album, and if you've seen my reactions or commentary, you already know that. That said, I do plan on revisiting it in the new year to articulate my thoughts more clearly and thoroughly, I guess. Jisoo actually surprised me. I said that if she stayed in the lane of pretty girl music, I'd probably enjoy it. For the most part, that's what we got. I remember liking the mini, though it didn't stick with me enough to revisit it. I definitely need to listen to it again to give a more current opinion. For Boa, I asked for one thing. A full-length project for her 25-year anniversary, and she delivered. Crazier, her 11th studio album, was fantastic. I planned to review it when it dropped, and I even considered it for Wade's Winter Wonderland, but it got cut purely for time. If you want me to talk about it, I absolutely will because it's that good. I also jokingly mentioned CLC, fully knowing a comeback wasn't likely, and I was right. However, Sorn has been teasing something CLC related, and since this was their 10-year anniversary, I held on to a tiny bit of hope. There's always next year. With From S9, I wished for a re-debut under a new company, and they actually did it. Not only that, they gave us a banger mini-album. I never got around to covering it, but I'd love to revisit it if you're interested. I was, however, wrong about G-Idol. I thought they'd be focused solely on individual activities, but instead we got a rebrand and a mini album, which I did cover on the channel, so my thoughts are already out there. Then there's ITZY. Oh, ITZY. I hoped for a successful follow-up where JYP actually listened to their fans, but I didn't expect to come back until the latter half of the year. We ended up getting 2 minis, and I personally didn't love either. They did get a win for Tunnel Vision, which was great, but overall, this year felt like a low point for them in my eyes. This is all, unfortunately, leading into, once again, my teasing of this one massive ITZY video, but I promise it'll be out next year. I was also cautiously optimistic about Yeji's solo debut. We got a 4-song mini, and it was fine, but the era came and went so fast it felt like she never really got her moment. Air was good, not as impactful as I expected, but it still deserved more. For KATSEYE, I hoped for another mini that improved on their debut, and they delivered. Beautiful Chaos was stronger overall, even with all the controversy surrounding them this year. I'm just glad the music held up for the most part. Kepler was complicated. Things were already weird with shouting at the time, but I still hoped for a comeback. We got one, just not in a way that felt satisfying. I recently posted a video on their mini, so if you want my detailed thoughts, it's there. With LE SSERAFIM, I hoped for something in the vein of Crazy. We got Hot and Spaghetti. I covered Hot and enjoyed most of it, and I never really got around to covering Spaghetti, and honestly, I'm not even sure if my commentary would add much because I don't know if my opinions are a hot take. For Hwasa, I expected maybe a single later in the year, and that's exactly what happened. Good Goodbye dropped in October, and I'm pretty sure it went #1, so huge congratulations to her. I said NMIXX needed a full-length album with proper promotion, and they delivered. Not only that, they gave us the final installment of their FE304 series, alongside one of their best title tracks, Know About Me. This year has truly been their year, and I couldn't be prouder. Red Velvet was heartbreaking. I hoped for a mini if things went right, but they didn't. Wendy and Yeri leaving SM changed everything. That video about their future ended up reviving my channel, so even though it hurt, I am ultimately grateful. For Joy, I wasn't sure what to expect, but she did get her first official mini album, and I covered it on the channel. As for Wendy, she left SM and we didn't get that studio album I wanted, but we did get a regular mini and a tour. I am still very devastated that My Stop ended up getting cancelled even after I paid for airfare, but we continue on. Yeri also left SM like I said, and honestly I haven't kept up closely enough to be able to give any opinions on her, but I do wish her the best. With STAYC, I expected a mini and a second world tour. We got 2 single albums instead, but I did get to see them live, which was a highlight of my year. I have tons of fan cam footage on the channel if you want it, as well as their full concert. For Taeyeon, I hoped for a mini or maybe a studio album. I also completely forgot that this was an anniversary year for her, so we got Panorama, a compilation album of her solo hits. I haven't listened to it yet, but I can cover it if you guys want. I could have never predicted the massive year TWICE would have. I wanted another mini, but this year they fed us so good. We got solos, a studio album, K-pop Demon Hunters OST and popularity boost, plus the world tour started. I'm gonna see them next year, so my 13th reason is now gone! My exit from this world has been postponed. For legal reasons, that is a joke. I had also hoped Chaeyoung would debut solo, and she did. Lil Fantasy was solid, and I also have a full video on the channel if you want to check it out. Vicha, oh god, I couldn't have predicted Girl Set or what they would do for my channel. Truly one of the biggest surprises of the year. For VIVIZ, I hoped they would have a comeback with a studio album, and they did. It was really good. We got solo songs, a tour which I didn't hear about until it was too late. Overall, a very strong year for them. I have a video talking about their album that not many people have seen, so it's there if you'd like to watch. For WJSN, I said not to expect anything until their 10th anniversary, and that still stands. Sola deserved a comeback, but she got some solo fan tours. Again, it's Starship, I'm not surprised. Youngjung and EXI didn't get solo releases. I'll keep dreaming. And finally, Taeyeon. I genuinely feel like I won the lottery. I wanted her to debut with a concept that balanced sensuality and brightness, and she did. I didn't even remember predicting it until after I made my previous video, which made writing this one so much sweeter. Overall, I'm very surprised. Now, time to talk about the elephant in the room. 2024 was such a big year for Kiss of Life, and I was so excited to see what this year had in store for them. And what it had in store was a big fat cancellation. My thumbnail for my 2024 K-pop video unfortunately aged too well. Being transparent, I did listen to their comeback and it's actually pretty good. However, I'm not someone who can accept their apology or even begin to comprehend the damage that they did to the communities they mocked. I made the choice to not cover them on the channel because honestly, it hurt to see them throw away such promising futures in a few hours by disrespecting the hand that feeds them. I don't know if they'll ever come back from this. Looking back at all of this, what stands out to me most isn't how many predictions I got right or wrong, it's how much this year reinforced why being a K-pop fan is such a complicated experience. From every moment of excitement or validation, there was also frustration, confusion, or missed potential, and often those things existed side by side. Some artists exceeded my expectations in ways that genuinely made me emotional. Others reminded me how fragile momentum can be in this industry, and how often talent alone isn't enough. There were careers that were revitalized, debuts that deserved more care, and legacies that I wished were treated with more respect. And through all of that, it became really clear to me that timelines in K-pop don't move the way we expect them to. Success doesn't always arrive when it should, and sometimes it shows up long after the industry has stopped paying attention. If there's one thing this reflection taught me, it's that hope as a fan isn't naive, it's necessary. When things don't pan out the way we want, even when companies fumble or momentum fades, there's still value in caring, in showing up, and remembering the work these artists put in even when the spotlight moves elsewhere. Going into the next year, I am trying to hold on to that. Less expectation and more appreciation, because at the end of it all, being a fan isn't about being right, it's about staying connected even when things are messy. And honestly, that's what keeps me here. Please do not include me in any fan wars. I'm trying to remain as neutral as possible. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this different video from me. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a video. Tell me in the comments down below who surprised you this year with their releases or lack thereof. Remember that I love you all so much, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye!